Yeah, Jesus Lord, you are my Savior. Everybody pray. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. He is the Almighty God of... Well,
should have known you were gonna do something like that.
No, well, on to the movie. Yeah,
so if you hadn't guessed, we just got back from seeing War Room.
Yeah, and it is from the creators of Fireproof, and it really shows, because this movie is essentially fireproof. Right down to the bottle of hot sauce that's labeled Wrath of God. That was in Fireproof
Okay, that was
too,
funny.
Yeah.
I wonder, is that a real hot sauce?
I doubt it. I think it's just, I wonder if all the movies...
what strength would that be?
I wonder if all of Alex Kendrick's movies are in one universe, like the Pixar movies.
Oh yeah, that is a theory.
Yeah. Okay, so...
You want to hear my point?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I'm just going to state this. I am not a religious person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't go to church. I don't read the Bible. But there weren't as many eye-rolling moments that I thought. I didn't roll my eyes as much as I thought. Yeah. And I liked the story.
Okay,
there are a few things about this that yeah.
Yeah, there's actually more than enough of those for me. I mean, since I have seen Fireproof, this is really just a retread of Fireproof, so...
I haven't seen Fireproof.
Yeah. And I am a Christian, but I hold Christian movies to the same standards as any other movie. And
good point. Good practice.
Yeah. And so, really, this movie's a mess, really. I mean, there are like so many, and there are so many places where it could have stopped.
Oh, yeah.
So, you think it's going to end...
Did they really have to show the Double Dutch competition? Wouldn't it have been enough just to see a trophy?
There are so many things that they didn't need. There's, it could have ended right when because it's about a husband and wife who are starting to kind of drift apart from each other, just like Fireproof. And so after they do get together again, there's so many things that weren't needed at all. Like,
seriously,
his deal with the drugs, that just came right out of left field.
I think he's like, no, hammer, like I remember you saying that this guy really likes to hammer it in.
Yeah, Christian movies in general usually like to. I mean, between this and Pure Flix, the creators of God's Not Dead and Do You Believe, what's really funny is that we were the only young people in the theater. Everyone else was old in the theater.
Yeah.
And I think there might have been some of the same people who were in the theater when I took my sister to see Do You Believe back in March. For
me, I don't think faith is a bad thing. I mean, you have to have faith in something. But my one biggest problem with this movie is the moral. Like, basically, they don't seem to be... It's like, they're saying, you can't take responsibility for anything. Like, just give it all to God. Like, God will do everything for you.
Well, no, not really. I mean, even with the drug scene, he still had to take responsibility through... I mean, that's... Yeah, I didn't really...
Yeah.
I didn't really see that. But still, so many other scenes afterwards, like, you think after the whole drug deal, it's gonna end there, but then it goes on to, a scene where he has to help out the guy who was unforgiving toward him. Yeah, that was very essential to the movie. Just had to...
That man is a... he does not deserve to wear a bow tie. No.
Yeah. And it can't end there either. We have to get on to a jump rope
competition,
show. Yeah.
Which is... Yeah, we know the daughter does jump rope, but really?
Yeah.
Is that so essential to the plot?
Yeah. And so we can end on that high note, right? no, we have to go back home so that we can have a scene where the husband washes her feet. You know, because, you know, Jesus did that for his disciples. And there's this whole running joke about how bad her feet smell through the whole movie.
And the way, and the payoff of that joke, like, he has to wear a mask to watch.
Yeah.
What?
And so, is it going to end there? No, it just has to end with a final prolonged prayer from the old woman, who is basically the same as Kirk Cameron's father in Fireproof. Yeah. Every one of these movies just has to end on a speech like that. It's not needed, guys.
No.
I mean, you want to spread the...
It sort of sounds like a call to arms, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of. In fact, there's even like this woman, I don't want to say that she's crazy, but she kind of is, because, I mean, when there's a scene where she's trying to encourage, what's her name? The main woman, the wife.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where it's like she's talking to a whole crowd. She's like, you gotta fight the devil. You got to fight for your marriage. And she's talking to one person. Yeah, so... and then they also... I had to laugh when she gets the call from the woman saying that it's all good now. And she's like, oh yeah, devil, you just got your butt kicked. I was
kind of expecting you to have like a heart attack at that scene. Weren't you?
Well, that maybe. I'm surprised they didn't just add a death scene with her.
It's like, oh no. Yeah. But you know, you can't have that.
That was probably the least Christian thing she ever said in the entire movie. You just got your butt kicked, devil.
There's a real...
Yeah. Yeah, so... So yeah, again it ends on like a final really long prayer where it goes around just places in the world.
First of all, I don't really get why he was cheating on her. She's a good-looking woman.
Well, yeah, but looks aren't everything, you know that,
True,
right?
I know, but that's usually the basis of cheating. They just don't. They get tired.
Yeah.
But really, I don't understand it.
Yeah. So yeah, during the final prayer,
that's usually why someone cheats. That's usually why someone cheats. Yeah. And the woman who chose, no, she was.
Yeah.
Even from a logical standpoint.
And so even during the final prayer, it goes around like just random places in the world. It goes around random places in the world where we just see people praying. Like, it might take us to a baseball field, to a school, pretty much anywhere. And it seems
I felt that was unnecessary.
Yeah, every one of Alex Kendrick's movies has to end with something like that. I mean, really, with Facing the Giants and Courageous, yeah. And, I think it's... I mean, Christian filmmakers, they want to make a movie to help get the word out. That I think that's great, but you actually have to make a movie, because this whole film really feels like...
Yeah, it felt like pandering.
Yeah. Yeah, these movies, they often bring up a subject, but there's not enough actual content.
This didn't really feel like a movie to me. It felt like... Oh, what are those old...
A sermon?
No, not that. Like a brochure, Like for Christianity. That's what it felt like to me. Like one of those one of those videos where they ask someone to describe what this product has done for them. So it's sort of like that, but from the view of the person,
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. This really doesn't feel like a movie because
you got to do better, man.
Yeah, there's got to be more actual content. I mean, one of the main rules in making a movie is show don't tell. And for like the first, I don't even know how many minutes were going by while watching this movie, because it kind of felt like 2 hours when we felt like we were at the first ending. But okay, so
also
I'll just say first 40 minutes. I'll just say it's just like 5 minutes of like family issues, another 5 minutes of preaching, 5 minutes of family issues, 5 more minutes of preaching from the old woman.
I'm not. Did you get the sense that they were trying to say that people who don't do these things are not like good people?
No, I don't. No, I never got that. I mean, some movies do, like every movie that Pureflix is bringing out seems to say that.
Yeah,
but you know, being a good person doesn't mean that you're saved, though.
But being a religious person doesn't automatically mean you're a good person.
Yeah. And so
some people even use religion to justify horrible acts. But okay, let's get off this. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to this movie. What was with the pop songs? Like, I think these moments would have been better, like, if they didn't have pop songs.
Forget the pop songs. Let's address the part where the woman starts cleaning out her closet, dusting off her Bible and stuff, and they're playing black gospel over it. I wanted to see how people were reacting to us laughing at that.
I mean, yeah. Like, really? I mean, like, one of my favorite movies, Wolf Children, there's a few scenes. The best scenes are the long stretches of visual, but without dialogue. Not because that the dialogue is bad, it's really good. Actually, everything about Wolf Children is amazing. Yeah. But because those points allow the viewer's emotions to swell without... I can't remember the word. But you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Those are the most emotional times, and it's just a brilliant film. I love it. Yeah. Such a good film. But okay, let's move on. Anything else?
Were you trying to make any comparisons of that to this movie?
No, not really. Just using it as an example. Just using Wolf Children as an example is why those scenes would work without pop music.
Okay, yeah.
No pop music.
Okay.
We don't need pop music in these scenes, because the pop music just distracts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And even some of the family scenes I didn't really think were that believable either. Like the scene in the girls' room where the wife is trying to tell her daughter, you know, you mean more to me than anything. I mean, I'm your mom.
And then the daughter just proves.
Yeah, she starts
wrong.
asking her questions like, "What's the name of my team? What's our color? What was the last jump rope trick I learned?" Really, a girl her age actually thinks.
And none of that
is things like that.
None of that is actually brought up earlier in the film, is it? Like, can
I
you
don't
even?
Think so.
Yeah. We can't. It's really bad when a character is asking for information that not even the audience knows about. You could have she could have at least said that, and I get that it was probably brought up before the timeline of a movie, you know.
Yeah.
But if you want to draw emotion you really gotta, you kind of have to play on the audience's knowledge. And I have to say, some of those earlier family scenes were really awkward. Like, I was cringing in my seat.
Yeah. I mean, I think that one scene at the dinner table after what happens, right after the girl and her friend are overheard by her mom talking about. I think that was kind of supposed to be awkward, but anyway.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of think some of the comical scenes are actually the strongest element of the movie.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially. Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, two other scenes I did want to bring up. One is another scene that goes nowhere when the wife and the old lady are walking through like a parking garage or something, and they get stopped by the guy with the knife. He's trying to swindle them into handing him over money, and the woman's just like, "No, I'm not giving you my money. You drop that knife in the name of the Lord." And he
in real life that wouldn't work. He'd probably laugh. He'd probably laugh his derriere off and stab her.
Yeah. If only we had someone like that who was on like a... Oh, shoot.
Sorry, that's probably
It's still going. If only we had someone like that who confronted Hitler. Like, hey, Jesus said don't do that. Oh,
again, another person who used religion as an excuse to do horrible things.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the other scene was pretty much the speech from the ending of the Haunting remake. Where the woman is in her house and is trying to talk to the devil. Devil, you get out of my house. You go back to hell where you came from.
I was kind of expecting, I'll get you next time, whoever you are, and your little soul too. I'll get you next time, woman. Yeah. Next time. Yeah. Like some sort of Inspector Gadget thing, you know?
Yeah.
But really,
right, yeah, this movie, honestly, it's pretty bad.
She was shouting like she was expecting an answer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But
yeah, honestly, this probably is one of the weakest Christian movies that's ever been brought out.
This is the only Christian movie I've ever seen.
All right. Unless you count Chronicles of Narnia or Passion of the Christ, or
I've never seen Passion of the Christ, and I don't count Chronicles of Narnia. That's fantasy, man.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It might have Christian roots, but that's definitely fantasy.
Yeah. So, really, I think that these movies...
Aslan rose much faster. That was like what, 5 hours?
Yeah. And so I feel like most of these movies always bring up a subject, but there's just not enough actual content. You know, there are two faith-based movies that I think are really great, and it's because they bring up like they bring up real life issues that might happen like every day. And there's more to it than just the main character finding Christ. He actually... I
still don't like the moral of this film, you know?
Well, I think the overall message of this movie is just how powerful prayer is.
Yeah, but I got that she was... No, what I got was that she was saying, oh, just let God do this. Just, you know, give it all to God. Like... I was just sitting there, and it kind of reminds me of a George Carlin. He does one on religion, and he goes, you know, God has a plan.
Yeah.
And when you ask him something, well, what if your plan has nothing to do with his plan. You think he's just going to stop his plan and fix yours? No. He's busy. Yeah. He's a busy deity. But yeah.
I still did feel like the husband actually did do stuff. Like confessing about the drugs that he stole.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I brought that up before. But okay.
But so, here's the thing. My belief is that God, I do believe in some kind of something. I'll talk to you about this later. But he gives us the tools to help ourselves. Gives us courage, compassion, and kindness. You know? That's what it,
yeah.
He gives us the tools to help ourselves.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of an episode of Futurama, Godfellas, where Bender...
Godfellas.
Yeah. Bender is lost in space, and he somehow becomes a god of these tiny little guys. But every time he tries to help, it only gets worse. And then he meets God. And after they're all dead, he meets God. And God isn't this... he's not a person per se. He looks more like a multicolored galaxy. And I remember this, and this is just so true. The entity... and even the entity itself, it doesn't say it's God. He says, probably God. And he says, if you do too much, people will grow dependent on you. But if you do too little, people will lose faith. It takes a light touch. And if you do things right, no one will be sure if you've done anything at all. And that just sticks with me, you know? Maybe that's what God does. He does these little things, and it helps you. You know? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But, I mean, okay, I think we've gone on enough. Let's get to grading this sucker.
Yeah. Well, I actually didn't bring up the... well, I did bring them up. I just didn't say the names. The two movies before that I think are really great Christian movies. One is To Save a Life, a film that I think every teenager and young adult should see.
Seriously, it's... You guys. I'm guessing what it's about, and I think, and if I'm right, then yeah, they definitely should watch it. But I'm not gonna question. I'm gonna ask later.
Oh, okay.
It's about pregnancy and that, isn't it?
Not quite. I mean, that's kind of an element in there, but it's not the main theme. The main theme of it is teen suicide.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I was totally wrong. Okay.
And then the other one is kind of more like that. October Baby. October Baby is a movie about an 18-year-old who finds out that she was the victim of a failed abortion. And so she sets out on a road trip to go and find her biological mother. And there's...
I'm guessing. I doubt that ends well.
It ends really well. I mean, she learns... I mean, there are themes of forgiveness in it, and it's not just, it doesn't just smack you over the head with its preaching.
This movie definitely did some head smacking.
Yeah.
I felt. Yeah. So, we've gone on about this film. And we've even detoured a couple of times. Mm-hmm. But let's get on this.
Okay.
I'm giving... I can't seem to give this over a D grade, you know? At most D+.
Yeah. I'm going with a D+ as well.
Yeah.
All right.
There weren't as many parts where I just felt I was drawn in, but the problems, man.
Yeah.
Just okay, so
let's as I suspected, we do have some trailers to other kind of low budget movies. Like one I got the end of as I was walking in, a new movie from Pure Flix called Woodlawn. All I got was were two people saying, "Do you believe in miracles?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, I do. I am one." And that's...
Wow! That
comes out on October 16th, I think. Yeah, so... Yeah, we're getting a lot more faith-based movies for better or for worse, but...
Maybe for worse.
We did get a featurette for the new movie Captive. I'm really looking forward to Captive, because that's a true story about a guy who finds Christ when he took this woman hostage.
Oh, I thought it was probably the story of behind Stockholm Syndrome, which actually might make a good film. You know?
But, so that's on September 18th. We got a bunch of stuff on the 18th, so...
let's do this!
Alright, so we have... one that's based on events that I didn't even hear of before. The 33,
yes,
about men who are trapped in a mine,
That looks good.
There's a lot of recent events in U.S. history that I never knew of until the movie came out, with like Captain Phillips and 13 Hours. I didn't know about the attack on the ship or the Battle of Benghazi or anything. Like, how did I not hear about this stuff?
World. You know, it should all be considered world history, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I guess world. Well, at least I did hear about the oil spill, and we've got Deepwater Horizon coming out next year. Yeah. And then, of course, the other one, Risen.
Oh,
that's a movie about the hunt for Jesus' body after he is resurrected. In fact, the tagline is the greatest manhunt in history. The same tagline for Zero Dark 30.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah. But they might have just said...
considered a corpse hunt? I still think he's...
Well, yeah. They might have said an even greater manhunt in history than Osama bin Laden, because the greatest manhunt in history was the tagline for Zero Dark 30. Okay, so that comes out in January, though. It's actually looking like a pretty promising January between Risen, 13 Hours, and Kung Fu Panda 3,
man.
Yeah. We also have a sequel to Olympus Has Fallen coming out in January.
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Does anyone even remember that movie? All right, well...
I mean, also, to call it Olympus, that's a bit...
I think that was the code name for the White House in that movie.
I know, but they called it Olympus.
Yeah.
Although, it is a giant room with people who control the fate of this country. Oh, damn.
Okay.
You know what? I gotta hit my head on something. Give me something to hit my head on.
Yeah, ironically enough, today I didn't bring my Bible with me. All right.
I finally got that.
So, in a little over an hour, we're seeing We Are Your Friends.
Yep.
So, all right.
Okay. Next time, We Are Your Friends.